Brutus, I was just going to go over some of the equipment that we're using. What we're actually using is what they would call a choke lead. It is actually very thin. By choke lead, what it means is they'll have a loop that will come down and choke the dog. We're not using as a choke portion, choking. If you actually had this lead on this dog's neck and you slip and you're sitting there and the dog is pulling this way, yes, that is choking the dog. That is not what we do, and that's not what I recommend on any kind of corrections of our dogs. That is not helping anything to do. What we are trying to educate y'all on is when we use this choke lead, what we use is, one, being thin so he can't have anything to pull against, and two, it's a jerk. Jerks are the correction. All we want to do is like have this hit them around the neck where it reminds them. So, and we want to use this as a leverage. This right here is nothing but a big leverage device, okay? If you get real close to them, you don't have too much. If we have a little bit of a long slack and he's coming this way, I can go the other way and get a quick correction, and he can come over this way, if that makes kind of sense. You'll see in this video that I'm going to use an e-collar. If you cannot use this to get a dog to walk on lead, do not try an e-collar. It's not going to help you at all, I promise you. All you're going to do is make things worse. This can be the best tool in the world or the absolute worst tool in the world. So it's all how we implement this, whether we're going to get good results off of. But if you can't do it off of a lead, don't go buy one of these and think it's going to solve the world's problems of your dog. A lot of the problems are going to have to be between you and your dog, and how you're training, not the equipment that you're actually using. If you're using this equipment correctly, which I can train every dog I got on site with this lead, okay, we got them up over 120 pounds. Everything can be done with this lead before I even get to this whatsoever. I can't overemphasize that enough with y'all guys. I know that the easy thing you want to do is go grab one of these real quick and shock the hell out of the dog. We got to train that dog first. We got to make sure it knows what the corrections are, why it's getting zapped. So say you have this dog and you don't have it under lead and you start correcting with this. If that dog just starts hauling butt that way, how are you going to bring that dog back if it's not on lead, okay? You want to have that a secure lead, a good lead to hold the dog in case of any kind of bolting. Shocking it is not the answer. This is a correction tool. These are all tools. They all can be misused, but if done right, they're absolutely amazing. What this allows me to do is get my corrections further than this leash away, okay? And now we do some long line leads as well that you'll see later videos, but this is to allow us when we're out 200 and 300 and 400 yards to get the same thing as this tug right here. That's all we're doing is, hey buddy, we're not going that way, we're going this way. Hey buddy, we're not going that way, we're going this way. That's all it says. So I'm here today with Brutus. This is day 5. What we're going to actually do today is implement the e-collar itself. We're going to find his level of intensity that we need. We don't want to overwhelm this dog. We just want him to be like, hey, come over here. So how I actually do it, make sure your dog is still on lead. That way if you do get any kind of recourse on your shock, on your correction, they don't bolt and leave, because it's going to be a new sensation. Now I don't know if this dog has ever had a correction in the day in his life with a collar. So what I'm going to do is act like he has never had and prepare with lead. Really with any dog you're going to do this on lead, because you want to be able to control the dog and keep it from bolting. So what we're looking for is the actual ears to perk up to know we got the right level. And go from there. So when we do this e-collar correction, what I'm going to do is a nick and a pull, nick and a pull. And that's all going to be on here. I'm not going to worry about sit today. I know it seems like we're going backwards, but we are going forwards because we're adding something new. When you add something new, you've got to make sure that they know what they're getting corrected for. So like I said, we've done 4 days now just on the here and the sit. Now the sit's coming around, but the here is done pretty well. That's why we're going to start. That's why we're going to also start with this as well. So what I'm going to do is look at the top of his head and look for a reaction. When I do here, here, we're looking his ears to perk, let us know that he actually knows that Nick is coming. Here. All right, so there, you got a real good reaction. We know he felt that time, and it wasn't something overwhelming. Here. Good dog. Now don't go on your first day, go crazy and do 1,000 corrections with this collar. That is not the point of this. We're trying to, one, condition this and also learn a command. This will allow us to do a recall. Sit there and try to burn your dog on every little thing, you're going to screw that dog up. This can be the best tool in the world, or it can absolutely be the worst tool in the world. It's all how you use it. See how tight he is right now? We're walking a little bit behind. That will eventually improve. Right now he's unsure. So we have added pressure to this. But not a lot. You can see how his tail is still up. So he's still in a good mood. The easiest way to determine a dog's mood is his tail. You see, it's kind of like an indicator. If it's tucked in between his legs, obviously that's not a good sign. If it's sitting there right at neutral, that means he's in a neutral state of mind. If his tail gets all the way up, that's almost like a dominant thing, or he's extremely happy, depending on how we're reading that dog right there. So this is day 5. I've only corrected just a few times. We're not out here trying to win an award for how many corrections we get. We want perfectly timed corrections. Here. If he does it right, absolutely no reason to push that button. So what we will do in the future, he's walking a little further behind than I like. We will start doing a here and tugging up and with a nick to move him up in the position of the heel. But right now, I'm not worried about that. My biggest goal for today is adding this collar into our training. I'm not going to go out and try to do the hardest thing we've done with this collar. I'm going to do the easiest thing. I'm setting this dog up for success, not failure. Here. So we might have corrected him 3 or 4 times there. There at the end, I haven't corrected him in a while. We can see how his demeanor has changed. He's really wanting to pay attention. He's doing a real good job. And still really happy is what we really like. So this is a few tips for you. When you add the collar into your training, make sure it's not on day 1, and make sure it's something you have already trained on and established that he already knows what he is doing. We do not want to begin the e-collar's life on something totally new. So a lot of people, what they want to do is have this dog off lead and start zapping him and tell him here until he comes. It's not exactly the best way to do it. Let's do it all under control in a training situation, just as we have here. So I'm actually really proud of Brutus. He's doing a very good job. About there. So we're logging off now.